And welcome back, everyone, here to the first NA version of the Blitzkrieg Bagel from the plays GG. I am Dust, and I'm actually going to be joined by a special guest, my man Lex.
Dust,
how's it going?
How's it going, man?
It's going good. The last time we chatted, it was 3 hours long, and it was a sick podcast. Shameless self-promotion, of course, but
Hey,
you know.
there's nothing wrong with promoting your own content, you know?
You know, you got to. You just gotta. So what do you think about this finals matchup? Obviously, I know that you might still be sad that you're not in it yourself, but what do you think about these two teams?
We got smacked on Derailed. We lost 13-11 last round to Relay's squad right here. We played these guys yesterday, and they're actually... I kind of slotted them as like being slightly like below maybe pure or it's over the past few weeks, and I know I just told you this before I hopped on here. I was like, they've actually improved a lot, both as individuals and as a team. So this actually might be in a pretty interesting finals.
Yeah, it will be. Obviously, It's was the team that knocked down the former Western Kings, now currently Pure Gaming, on Derailed in the semifinals. So definitely they've been looking hot throughout this tournament, really. And curious to see. I actually haven't gotten to watch this other team play, the Warm-Up Warriors. I know that you said like Hyper and Relay have been together for a while. They have Doggo kind of filling in.
Yeah, I believe Doggo's just a ringer for today, and he was actually a former fifth for Western Kings, and I think like, you know, their fifth that they usually have here is pretty good, but now the kills are rolling out.
Indeed, they are. Nicholas trying to hold on inside the barrels, but does get taken down thanks to the aggression of Hyper. A couple of scope kills went off from Caliburn as well, who is using some weird... I don't know what that.
Yeah,
he actually. I'm not sure what those symbols are.
Yeah, the some sort of Asian symbols is Caliburn.
Yes,
actually streaming right now, and he just when he plays this map, you'll see this half dust. Like he is very comfortable holding flank and taking all challenges from spawn. I rarely see him like venture too far out from the spawn street. So he picked up 3 huge kills on the rotations into sight there. Nice play from him.
See if Wicked can take him down this time. He does get the headshot over the tank. Doesn't even jump peek it, just straight up slides out. There's a lot of different ways Axis can peek there with the scope. You'll know that very well yourself, obviously being the scope for your team. Usually a lot of Axis favorite angles, and he does take one of them there.
Yeah, it's very rock, paper, scissors. You gotta like pick your angle and just hope that he's not in the place to counter it.
See, sync with the shotgun this time. Normally uses the Kar 98 in all the other games I watched from him, but he's using that shotgun, pushing through long, picks up an M1, almost gets another kill, pulls out the Luger. Does a lot of damage. These two guys are bleeding out, but they are regenning.
So aggressive. Like on those B hits, when you're actually sending almost all 5 guys towards the B bomb site as allies, you really got to make sure that the first things you clear are close and anything pushing along. And it was like half the team was just caught off guard there. Now they're pushing on the site. Both Hyper and Relay, the duo.
A little kill there, but oh, that grenade lands perfectly, gets both of them down, and so the quick response from the men over at... Is it ITS or ITS? I don't know.
I like ITS better, but I'm pretty sure it's just ITS.
Could be.
Both these teams, and this is something that like we kind of had the stereotype as like being the huge nerds over the first few weeks of the game. We had all the nades or whatever. Like these guys, far and away among any other team that we've practiced or played against, have the best nades. So these two teams, like, you know, maybe not every map they're so strategized up. Dogo's a ringer, so you got to wonder like how well is the the Hyper and Relay squad going to be able to mesh with him on all these maps. But I think like the nade usage, just the basic tactics, are going to be pretty solid for both teams. And there's that long aggression getting punished. Sync actually costing his team a frag. Magic falls. Hyper picking up a second. Now it's a 4v3, and they have plenty of time to put the bomb down.
Yeah, he taps trying to bait out some grenades, but it may not even come to that, as all the kills are just ringing out right now. Hyper has been really good with that Thompson pushing into that B bomb site. He's been clearing out barrels really well. Like you said, they were starting to deal with the long B aggression pretty well also. And it's left Wicked in a 1v3 where not going to go for it. You can't blame him. He's got a scope, not really the gun you want for a retake like this. We'll just back off and hold on to. It's a very valuable card to keep.
Yeah, I mean, I've played against Wicked a lot actually, and I would probably place him for sure in the top 3 scopes that I've run into. And it's like, I think what makes him so dangerous is that he doesn't really have a set way of playing. Like a lot of times, scopes, including myself, fall into a routine on a map. You know, they have it work for him in a bunch of matches, and it's pretty easy to counter after you've seen it a few times. But Wicked's always in a different place. He's changing up his routes, and he's super confident with the way he plays. So, you know, regardless of if he's playing passive or aggressive, he seems to be able to find openings and wisely saving the scope card here. That's something that I see them taking very good good care of the scope card compared to anything else in the team as far as saving goes.
Right. So I know about the firepower a bit from the side of things. I've watched them play a couple of times. I've had a pretty good feel for who to look out for. But who do you think are the main guys to look out for on this warm-up Warriors team?
I think almost all of them like have a lot of potential. I mean, I've played against Hyper, Relay, Magic for a lot of years, and I think like Caliburn's a new talent to the scene. He's got a lot of potential, and a lot of it just comes down to like, you know, how well they're working as a team. If they're winning rounds, I think any of these guys can go off.
Appreciate the insight there. As Hyper, again, with this Thompson, has been pretty good at breaking open the speed bomb site. He does so again. It comes at a cost this time. He does lose a teammate along the way. That nade almost took him out, but he is able to weather that storm. Is it a boost going on at the back wall? And this is a really dangerous boost. I've seen it used in Europe a lot. And
notice Caliburn's position, though. He's all the way up in top green looking for a flank. I think they know about it, though. They definitely hear him now, yep.
Yeah, Lunar does pick up on it there, so that's starting to look a little bit grim right now for the Allies, as it's just Hyper left. Yeah, he's been great with the Thompson, but now you're asking a lot of him in a 1v4. Got time, and I think Bomb is somewhat in his possession. Not sure if it's... Yeah, it is actually on him. He physically has it, okay. But yeah, I mean, trying to plant in this is suicide.
You're just looking for cards at this point. I mean, he has his own SMG cards, so you're not really getting too wild with it, but you're just trying to make sure that if they are trying to get aggressive on you, you're punishing it. You don't really have an option to be able to plant on 1v4 like this. You know, the situation just calls for, okay, I'm thinking about economy. How can I hurt theirs and how can I help ours? So, you know, hunting maybe a scope card here, trying to draw out some bolts. There's one. That was a default, though.
Yeah, the only kill he got was on a person that card he couldn't even collect because it was just a default class, so he won't gain anything from that and loses his own SMG card. Also, he never even picked up the operator card off of, I think that was Synced who had it. It goes right back to the Axis side, so managing their economy pretty well.
Yeah, and actually that's like Synked's main play so far has been just getting aggro on that long B bomb site. I mean, just being able to push up there and be a problem. They finally have been able to like handle it somewhat, so I'm worried that, you know, as this half kind of progresses, the card count's going to become an issue for one of these teams.
Very well could be. We're seeing a full focus this time from the Allied side towards B. Synced again playing up close with that shotgun, this time in wooden. I've seen a lot of players do this or play under in the window. Just try to play that close corner. Definitely can be a very potent weapon in these angles. Nicholas, though, actually the first one to deliver a blow. Gets a nade. Lunar flanking around through middle, actually gets kind of behind this broken building and into that second archway. He's delivering some damage. Sync pushes all the way through basically the Allied spawn for another kill. And it just feels like we're starting to see some cracks in the foundation of the warm-up Warriors.
No, I mean, Itz has a perfect read on it. I mean, as soon as Wicked kind of gets that info as a scope that they're pretty much all 5 towards B, I mean, they have the nades delaying them essentially indefinitely, picking up kills here and there. But if you noticed, pushed into mid-courtyard almost all the way behind the Allied squad pretty early on in the round. There was already a flanker incoming. Like, they know exactly what's going on. There was 4 people ready to nade the bomb site. I would like to see, I mean, warm-up Warriors maybe spread a default more. I think they'll work towards A in the coming rounds. Like, B's on lock right now.
It seems like Synced and Nicholas have done pretty well at holding that. Hyper had a little bit of a, you know, run, kind of entering B with Thompson a couple of times, but it's been kind of solidified over there now. And so they are going to take the smoke, and actually allows Relay and Hyper to get up close thanks to that smoke. The backstreet player can't really see them coming up, but Lunar pushes through with the MP40. He's able to get a couple of big kills, and that is a quick early advantage for his team. And he spotted another at long A as well, gets that information.
I don't know what info they're picking up on. I mean, either way, it's just really good reads coming out from Itz. I mean, Magic and Dogo here, there's not a whole lot you can do except try and work a few picks. There's one on a Nicholas from that mid-tank area. Magic behind Milan's taking some bullets from green. Not going to get it. And Sync's taking a duel at Long Street. Probably going to spell the end of the round here for Dogo, but I think they're just telegraphing everything. When you move 5 guys towards any bomb site, right, you're opening yourself up to a lot of flanks and a lot of information plays coming from Axis. So, you know, right there, I think it was like they hadn't even hit Long A Street.
Yeah, it was just that one smoke at Long A Street that caused everyone from Axis to rotate because they hadn't seen that smoke before. And so you figure, okay, like they've never thrown that smoke. If they're throwing it now, probably means they're trying to do something with it. Yeah, so maybe they can use that for a fake later. I mean, long term.
I mean, that round, Itz didn't even put anybody in the B bomb site. I think Nicholas just ran right through it, went to B arch and went to mid tank. They knew already. So that kind of information that you're giving up as allies, like a lot of times just runs you into a 3 or a 4 stack, and it shows right there. I mean, 4-2, you're not in a bad place, but definitely trying to just burn cards is Dogo. Nice kill there. Finds a second on the Lunar, and that's an SMG card. There you go.
Well, at least he gets able some card. Almost gets another heavy card over in green, but doesn't quite pick up on it. But I think it's also because I feel like Wicked with the scope probably can get a lot of info. Like if you jump peak tank, you can watch people cross arches. You can go like top double house and watch people cross courtyard. So I feel like you can get that information as access on this map pretty easily.
Right, and Callie's on his last scope card, and this map especially, just because the scopes tend to have so much information. Like if you run out of your scopes early, you have no clue what's going on because you're afraid to peek things. And they keep missing that window smoke. I don't know what's going on.
That's landing on the roof times, and you have to wonder if that's really hurting their execute.
Yeah.
Doggo going to throw another one here towards the archway, and they're going to start penetrating in. That smoke does land there, so it will block mid-street vision, but Nicholas up top has been a real nuisance with this Square. It's already good for 1 kill. Finally naded out of the equation. They are still 2 men down. It's all said and done.
Yeah, I mean, these rounds aren't necessarily over yet. I mean, still you have a smoke up. You know people are flanking. If Magic could have gotten 1 or 2 here, this would have been a situation where maybe you don't opt to plant and you look to get aggressive, but smokes are unforgiving, and Dogo knows that very well. Magic here in the same situation as several rounds in a row now, and it's dominating the first half, 5-2. Cards are running low.
What's your thoughts on this map balance-wise? I mean, I feel like it's not as access-sided as Derailed, but still certainly fairly access-sided. Is that probably true, or do you disagree? What do you think?
I mean, we talked about it some of the podcasts. I think a lot of these maps, it's really hard to determine, like, what the actual balance is. But during the current meta right now, I'd say it's pretty heavily access-sided. A lot of people who aren't prepared to stop necessarily like B rushes and B plays out of the allies maybe have a more difficult time on this map, but Warm Up Warriors are actually sprint a default right now, which is what I think they've been needing to do for a few rounds in a row.
Synced hit a nasty shot over on the B archway, rotates to middle, does get caught by Magic's SMG. So it is back even here. Don't see them getting access to either bomb site yet, but Doggo's getting into green, maybe starting to get him a little bit of control over towards Market and towards the A side of the map. Could help them out for the long run. Now Hyper and Caliburn start to make their way up long B. Nicholas, though, still in the site. Does take down Hyper right away with that Gewere.
He's really good with that default. Not many teams, I'd say like us, maybe it's, and I can't even think of another team off the top of my head that have like almost a dedicated default. Or ours is for a lot of time Grego. And Nicholas, I almost always see him carrying a default. Actually, yeah, Magic is turning this into an interesting round, so why don't you cast this?
Yeah, I was about to say that. I mean, he actually get a couple of kills. He's still in a 1 versus 2. He's got the bar. He's got to worry about Wicked, who does have that scope still towards middle. Lunar is kind of flanking behind with the MP40. Taps the bomb, has time to do this. Might go hunting for Lunar, and he would be right to do this. Lunar's definitely holding that angle, jumps out, gets the kill, picks up another Pathfinder card. So that's good for his economy. And again, the 1v1 is still very real. Wicked can't even really know where he's headed right now just yet. He has to kind of play in the middle and wait to just respond. Now, once he commits to the plant, Wicked, the way he's moving, he could maybe get a spam shot through and kill him as he's planning, but we'll have to see.
Look, I really don't like proning here. Your legs are sticking way out. He knows now.
Gets 2 tags on him already. We'll keep pushing in with that Luger. Gets another tag, but now he's eating it from the Thompson. You hate to see that. You push a Thompson, you're going to feel the pain.
Absolutely huge round from Magic, dude. That was like, what, a 1v4?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, that's what the beauty of this game is like you have these situations that look so unwinnable. I mean, even me, I'm sitting there like discussing the meta of the game or whatever, and this guy's fucking going off. And impressive stuff there for Magic. I mean, that round is huge. He collects, a couple cards, but the team's suddenly back in it. We're 8 rounds in. You've got 3. You're not in a bad spot.
Yeah, it's actually pretty solid. They can get a couple of more rounds. I'll actually probably feel pretty good about how this half is played out. As they're again trying to knock on the door of that B bomb site. Nicholas has usually been pretty good with the Square, to one of the kind of default class mains. I've seen him use heavy class a lot as well, particularly on Axis, usually really good with the STG.
Yeah, but look at the mini-map right now. Again, it's his in-spawn, just behind them already. We're not 30 seconds into the round.
You're right, Wicked's been pretty quick with Lunar to do this time and time again. It's just Relay and Doggo left right now. Relay, doesn't check his corner coming around the barrel. Couldn't really expect them to be there. That's definitely not a common spot. Now Doggo just getting pressed from all angles, does go down. 3 rounds left in the half, and right now, a good lead here from It's.
I mean, honestly, at this point, if you're on Allies, you need to do something to just deceive the way the rotations are going. Smoke mid tank, lurk 1 or 2 people towards mid court as you're pushing towards B. There's options to deal with this, but I don't even know if they realize it's going on. But there was 1 man coming around deep spawn flank and 1 man in that top hole house, that broken hole.
Yeah, it seems like they need some type of courtyard presence or something to be picking up on this. Doggo is actually going to be doing that this round. So speak of the devil, he will be playing over here towards courtyard. Caliburn's playing inside the connector. So they have a little bit of presence of mind over here, and they are making some way into the B-bomb site now as well. Nicholas playing smart, playing very passive back B. It's going to come down to these mid battles, really, and Doggo actually pulls out another one there with the pistol, and so this is actually one of the better rounds we've seen. Hyper watching that nade, making sure it doesn't hit him.
Wicked again.
Played. Oh, no, not like this. And he catches him trying to plant. They didn't really think the flank was going to be that much of a problem. Luckily, Relay has swung back with the pump, but that definitely should have been a more dominant round here from the Allies. And now it comes down to the whims of a 1v1 against Nicholas TJO. And I don't favor your chances against him right now at the STG. He has been real hot. He's got 2 smoke grenades still, or unless that's a bug on the player bar. But
I think it's
if that's true, that could definitely make things difficult when he goes for this defuse. But he creeps his way in with the STG, doesn't even tap the bomb, just hunting for kills first. Now he will go for the tap, looking for Relay, who has the scope and wooden. Eventually he's gonna have to peek, and he jumps across, and now Nicholas knows what's up. He'll just push in. He's not hitting his shots though. He jumps in the shotgun of Relay, his pocketed weapon will deliver the blow, and it is 6-4. It's starting to be a close game.
Yeah, that was so important. I mean, that was like, what, a 4v2, something like that situation. And I don't know how Wicked got there, but he was in flank. There was Allies pushed all the way up mid. There was Allies on the B-bomb site, and somehow he pushes through Allied side court and picks up 3.
I think it's because Doggo and company were getting in fights by tank, and so I think Wicked just kind of like slipped through market and got behind them behind B.
For him, and he took it. That's a nice play.
Absolutely. So now we're going to see the focus again back over towards B. Caliburn's lagging back a little bit. I think he's weary of these late mid rotations and might still be trying to see if he can get eyes on it. He's actually watching for a long A flank at this point. In the meantime, though, the attack has been absolutely shut down on all fronts. No frags go the way of the Allies if they try to pour into B. Nicholas Singh and company stand firm, hold their ground. Magic does get 1 back out of this, and Caliburn's catching some players out in middle late round, but like that would have been good if his team could have done better in B, but now he's stuck in a 1 versus 3.
Yeah, a lot of times, I mean, I think you'll see Scopes doing a lot more diverse things when it comes to like these kind of higher level matches in the future. Caliburn's really good at being up in the kind of the lurk spots, making sure that nobody's flanking and catching rotations. Some Scopes I prefer to get more of the entry style role with the scope. And unfortunately, like, when you're playing kind of this passive, default, I'm going to sit and spawn, pick the rotations, take any scope battles that are possible. It really relies on your team a lot to be able to actually take the bomb site without your help. And a lot of times, you feel like you could have done more and maybe helped your team out more in these spots. And it's, a lot of times I have the same feeling that Caliburn does right now. It's just like, I should probably just save, but I want to go clutch.
Yeah. You have to wonder if maybe it's a response to the fact that the flanks have been so fast through mid for Axis that he felt like he had to do something like that to make sure that didn't affect them. So it felt like a proper adjustment to all the mid pushing and flanking that It's is doing. But unfortunately, it just kind of backfired because
they
didn't get B out. Yeah, and then, like you said, the scope card does go down. So do need to reconnect to the server. This is just how it works, by the way, Lex, in spec mode. It's just the thing. Every map does this halfway through first half.
Beautiful.
You have to reconnect. That is one of the worst spec bugs we're dealing with right now in the game, but apparently Howard has a fix for it that's coming in the next update, so that's good news. But chat and everyone else here this is like the ritual. The ritual reconnect. We'll just have to manually join spec mode again. As you get back in.
Yeah.
While we do that, we are seeing Lunar going ham with this SMG up close on market, but Relay and company were pretty quick to trade that back, and they actually have a one-man advantage. Good play by Caliburn, who's on the default class, is going to catch some aggression at B as well. So this is looking actually pretty decent right now for The warm-up Warriors. Wicked, though, hiding around with the Luger. Gets pitched, though, between two allies. He was thinking about, he was going to make a smart play there, actually, but just unfortunately got caught in between two people. The worst kind of sandwich that you could ever have to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, this is just Nicholas in a 2v1 at this point. 45 seconds. You know he doesn't have to push right away. Relay's got the rotations, just coming down to Dogo and actually putting the bomb down safely.
And Nicholas is being patient with the square, coming all the way back around towards the back street. Allows them to just go ahead and take the A site and start the plant. But now it's just going to come down to the duels. He'll have 44 seconds to figure this out. Of course, he needs 7.5 to defuse. Gives him still a decent amount of time to hunt for kills. Coming around, checking his corners. Well, that's going to be a tough corner to clear. Relay shotgun, as is a really powerful position. Does sniff it out, though. Gets the kill. Now it's all on Dogo with the Thompson. Nicholas just using this time to regen his health. Dogo gets another angle, steps out, grabs the kill. Well played. Another round to his team. Makes it 5-7, so about as close as a half as you can expect. And to be honest, 5 rounds from allies on this map is not too shabby.
Not bad at all. Honestly, with the way that the rounds were unfolding too, I'm surprised they got that many. The way they played that last round was beautiful. They sent Caliburn over towards B to just hold the flank. He picked up one, and all they did was push towards that mid-market area, that allied side courtyard, the cutout towards A, and they just chilled for a second, found the rotations, found an entry on an NST at the front whole house, and it was nicely played. They put themselves in an advantageous situation and won the 1v1 in the end. So big half. And now we're swapping around sides, and let's see if warm-up Warriors can get it done on Axis.
Wicked's getting it done.
There's actually flying up market right now.
Oh,
they know that was the only guy.
So outside of Wicked, you name him as one of the top scope players. Obviously, you can't name yourself because that is just.
I don't know. Like I think there's a lot of like good scope players in NA. It's just there's not been enough time to really develop like really dominant scopes like you saw in COD 4 and COD 2 and things of that nature. So even though like I would say that there's definitely a tier of like maybe 6 or 7 players in NA that are excellent scopes right now, I think all of us can be doing a lot better. And I think like, you know, I give a lot of credit to Wicked, but there's a bunch of scopes like that. Caliburn's pretty good too.
Yeah, I know Turns from Check 6.
Yeah.
So usually does pretty well from what I've seen. But anyway, let's get into the thick of this round as we do see that bomb tapped. Trying to bait some nades. They also get pretty high up on upper B, which I feel like is something you always want to take as allies. If you can control top B and get the bomb down, that's setting you up so well for defending against a retake. And you see them just kind of bleeding the Axis dry right now, playing so patient once inside the site, baiting all these peeks out, getting all these kills. Leaves Caliburn in a situation where he basically just has to save the scope, and it's a 1v5. Does get 1 kill, but I doubt he's going to get much more out of this.
It's actually really impressive patience by It's right here. I'm going to talk through this guy's clutch until he gets one. Callie, I'm sorry. But, you know, they were able to take site. They knew they were playing passive. They basically had a free bomb site. They put down the smokes, and they just waited. They tapped bomb, baited a couple nades out, and we actually played these guys on this map yesterday, and we didn't handle this properly. I wonder if It's watched it, because the way that they actually defend B is they basically throw nades passively, and then they jump through the upper smoke to stop bomb plants, and it's really tough if you don't know what's coming. But you know, it's fucking playing out of their minds.
Allies patrolling the stairwell themselves, you know, then as you jump out the smoke, you're gonna get shot in the side basically as you're focused on the site. So
that's what I mean. Is I think It's handled it really well, just being able to like have the presence of mind to know that they can't really do anything but make that play, right? So they basically got 2 free kills on the Hyper, and I think it was Relay jumping through, and it basically just was, the round was over at that point.
So the gap opening up even more right now for It's winning their first Axis round. Smoke is up on middle tank, allowing Nicholas to push really far up, but Dogo shotgun over here towards the courtyard has been able to get some kills. Nicholas just barely dodges that grenade on the tank, but this is a big advantage right now for Axis. Nicholas, though, could certainly be getting the better of some people. Ooh, Caliburn with the reactions. Okay. We see you. Well done.
Love that.
That was looking scary for him, and then he just pulled that out. So, what a shot.
That's the kind of shot that just gets your blood going, and he's not going to miss another shot the rest of the round. It's just how that goes.
see if they can recover. Lunar and Wicked do get a couple of kills here, but Lunar is still stuck in a rough 1v3. He's about to get flanked by Relay through B, I think. The Relay's thinking a little bit differently of it. There's still a lot of time. He wants to just kind of make sure he's locking down this side of the map, giving a little bit more flexibility to Magic and Hyper to move around and make sure they can lock up A so Lunar can't slip through. So this is really good patient play right now from the warm-up Warriors, not giving away anything. Making this hard on Lunar to clutch.
The two of them are at this point, but yeah, you're just going to get sandwiched. And unfortunately, that Carbine just not dropping enough DPS to pick up either of the first two. Actually, Lunar and NST are actually playing quite well, I believe. And I feel like those guys don't get a lot of love on this squad, just because, personally, I'm not that familiar with either of them, but I think they're kind of like the quiet fraggers of the squad, and actually do a lot of work for this its team.
Yeah, again, I know Synced from Counter-Strike Source back in the day, so he's a name that's recognizable to me. Obviously, Nicholas TJO is kind of infamous. I don't want to harp on that too much, but I think there's like kind of mixed feelings about him throughout most of the community, but certainly a guy that people will recognize from playing for Complexity and Overwatch for a very long time, actually. Anyway, we do see NST opening up things with that default class, grabbing the headshot frag and cracking open this B bomb site yet again. But oh, that grenade! Oh my goodness, that's like a huge slap in the face. All that success you had, like a dry erase board.
Gutting.
Yeah, just the eraser comes around, swipes through.
Wow.
Still won the round though.
Yeah, I'm kind of baffled that somehow they didn't close that out. I mean, it was only a 2-on-2, right? But unfortunately, the card situation isn't that terrible. I mean, you still have some SMGs and some shotguns to work with. Really, what you're worried about is the scope. As I mentioned last half, if you're playing on Axis side on this map and you don't have a scope running, it makes vision and just basic intel around the map a little bit harder to get. So you rely a lot on nade tags and just trying to feel out what teams are doing. And I mean, the ITS team is just, their smokes, their nades are on point, they're executing well, and they're moving as a unit. So we're going to have to see an answer out of Warm-Up Warrior soon.
Indeed we are, as we do see the smokes again coming out onto this B bomb site, looking for another execute. NST has yet another entry frag to open up the site. It's just Hyper stuck behind a smoke here.
That has got to be so frustrating for Cali. There's nothing you can do about Wicked and Spawn right now. Magic's flanking him, but
it just feels like It's is just out trading their way into B every round now. Like, their entries have been good. I mean, short of the grenade Hyper through last round for 3 kills, it's been pretty one-sided on the B side of the map so far this half.
Yeah, well, once you run out of cards, like, you have to basically reassess the way you play B entirely, because those close angles, those close fights, playing aggressive on that long B side, you honestly can't. I mean, you can to a point if you catch players off guard, but the way that ITS are just moving as a unit, working together, and actually pushing towards the bomb site with nades, it's probably not even an option.
Well, the crazy thing in NST's getting the entries with the M1 carbine. Like, he's just going in default class and getting entries with it. Like, that is just like pretty crazy to think about. It's not even the SMGs going in there and doing work or something. It's him with the default class.
And that's what I mean, is like, once you know that there's only 2 or 3 angles that the Axis can play at, it makes it so like that when you're on a default class towards barrels or even towards the bomb site or towards that cubby area, you can't really take aggressive fights and hope to get more than one at a time, and you want to use both your nades. So this is a tough spot, and it's going to take something huge coming out of Warm-Up Warriors to swing us back around, I think.
Yeah, we're seeing basically the same utility being thrown out, but NST will even take out Dogo right away for free with the grenade this time, and they are just pouring into this site so very quickly. Finally, Magic and Relay have a response, though, a really well one at that, because they actually have the man advantage now, and these two players are kind of stuck at barrels, kind of wondering what they can do. Their smokes are still up, but now the top smoke fades. Shot rings out, but it does miss. Nicholas gonna pick up that M1 carbine. He's trying to find someone here in the windows. Not happening. No one really peeking. Finally, they do. It's gonna be Hyper with the Car 98. He gets the kill, and Magic on the rotation finds Lunar. So finally, something comes out of the Warm-Up Warriors.
Yeah, they did a really good job of stalling with nades. You saw both the guys had come out long, but when Relay had jumped through, killed the barrels guy, even if he doesn't get a second or a third kill right there, he's delayed those guys from actually pushing towards barrels by, maybe as much as 5 seconds. His teammates can roll in, fucking be able to help him out in different angles, and he picks up 2, which is, enough to shift the difference on the round. And now it's 10-7. They recover some cards, and this is not nearly as bleak as it was looking just a moment ago.
No, but look at this. Lunar and Synced are looking to get really aggro at market right off the bat. So this is definitely a huge change of emphasis on what they want to be finding here. It's definitely an A-focused play. And I feel like we see these 1-4 type of plays a lot right now from Allies in this game, just really across the board.
And again, really the only weakness is that you run into 5 stacks. However, without a scope card, you're not going to have that info. So Magic is about to get crunched on the bomb site. Caliburn goes down, and the A-bomb site's completely open for ITS.
The only good thing about this is a Relay is on a really fast flank, but it may not matter because his team is just getting melted over here on the A-bomb site. So his it just gets caught. Wicked's aware of it, so it doesn't have any impact, and that is a clean round.
I mean, the reason why 4-1s are so effective right now is, right, like, if you don't have the information and your only answer to countering B aggression early is pushing flanks and actually, by end finding out exactly where the allies are and trying to push that scope and spawn. As soon as you're playing passive on the A bomb site, it's the first time you've done it. You're up against 4 people. You don't quite know what angles they like to run at. And Magic just gets overwhelmed there. It's 11-7. Cards are low. Unlikely comeback from Warm-Up Warriors.
And it does seem that way, doesn't it? Just 2 more rounds needed here to move on to a map 2 with a 1-map advantage for it's Nicholas picking up here in a little bit of a mid push. Dogo actually does get the kill, but NST is quick to respond with one of his own and keeps it all squared at 3-3 as far as player count goes in the round. Magic is defending A by his lonesome. Hyper trying to make that rotation through back street now. Dogo has pushed through B and is into mid street, so they're starting to get some good positioning on the Axis side to be ready for this, but Lunar with the Thompson pushing around through gets 2 big kills, and now it's all on Dogo's flank. Coming up through long A, walking up ever so slowly, not wanting to give away his position, but he's got a lot of work to do with the Guerre to pry this round back open for his own team. He does get the MP40, so that's definitely a gun that you want in close range battles. This could make it a little bit more possible for him as he's just kind of slowly clearing his corners, but as he comes around, he gets spammed by Lunar through the door, and now just 1 round away is it's from locking up Map 1 of the Grand Finals.
Yeah, I mean, I think Cali, he pushed down all the way mid-street and found a kill on the Wicked, and things were looking good. They had the information. They were towards A, but Lunar just going massive on that A bomb site is able to pick up 2 and probably shouldn't have gotten either. Just a little bit of over-peeking, trying to push through a smoke there at spawn. That's tough to do. Unlucky timing, and frankly, it's frustrating because you don't always, you may have the perfect read, but sometimes you just get outgunned, caught off guard at a weird angle, and Caliburn actually opening up with a nade towards B. They know they're there now, so the flank should be coming on kind of quick, and the B defense should be set and ready for this.
Yeah, they definitely get the information. That's half the battle, so to speak. You just got to be able to land your shots now. It's just that the fragging from it has been so powerful. Their entries have been really good. I mean, man for man, they're basically out-fragging everyone on the opposing team if you line it top to bottom. So it does come down to that sometimes.
This is so smart.
Is great kill from Nicholas there. It's the headshot onto Caliburn out in mid-street. So they were patient and they're rewarded with the kill, and now they're back on equal footing.
I mean, Lunar is out on the B bomb site, and they all fell back to pick up the flanks and try and get some kills towards mid, and they get 2, so this is huge.
And Nicholas now able to get behind Lunar, who was, preoccupied trying to get a shotgun frag on another player in the site, which he did get, or excuse me, Relay got it. But now it's traded out by Nicholas, who's gotten several kills in this round. I think he actually might be on for the ace. I think he's gotten 4 kills this round. And Magic is going to be flanking from behind, but now goes towards the mid-street. Nicholas picks up the shotgun. If he were to push the arch, he would be in for a bad time against that shotgun. So Magic needs to be careful with this. He needs to win, though. Otherwise, it's map over, and he pushes through Wicked with the scope from up top, collects it. It's 13-7. A decent game, but it's taking it pretty convincingly in the second half, at least.
Right. I think anybody in chat right now that's watching the game, if you are either a new viewer or somebody who is, aspiring to compete and you think default weapons aren't very good, this ITS team has some of the best default players that I've seen in this game so far, and it's like night and day how good they are compared to other teams when they're stuck on a carbine or a Gewehr. and it really is impressive. Their utility usage, the way they work the map, just a lot of control across the board.
Indeed. But we're going to take a quick break, folks. We do appreciate all of you for tuning in. If you are enjoying yourself, please do follow up the Twitch channel. We do this every Saturday for Europe and every Sunday for NA now. I am Dust. You can follow me at Follow Dust on Twitter. Also give a follow to Lex, who's helping out right now. It's the Ultra Lex on Twitter. I'll put his link in chat to make it easier. We also do have a giveaway going on, folks, so make sure that you pay attention to that in between maps. And we'll be doing that throughout the rest of the finals. But I'll pass it over to our producer to take care of the giveaway. But Lex, that is going to take a break till the next map starts. So stay tuned.